Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some prize picks plays I like for the Week 5 Monday Night Football game between the Chiefs and the Raiders. We got a decent game on Monday night. Right now this game has a 51.5 total. The Chiefs are favored by 7. So this should be, somewhat of a high-scoring game. We got two pretty decent offenses here going up against each other. And we're going to talk about two player props I like for this game on prize picks at least. So we'll talk through these two plays, guys. We will share why I like them. But before we do get started, as always, guys, please hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these prize picks videos. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And also, if you are new to prize picks, if you have not checked them out yet, again, they're a player prop based DFS site. So you're just picking the over or the under, taking more or less on a player's projection. It is very simple and very easy to use. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 5 picks. You can win up to 10 extra money. Definitely sign up for Prizepicks and use promo code NOAH when you do. When you sign up with my promo code, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100. And you can take a look at all the props they have posted for Monday Night Football. They have a lot of stuff up already. They might even add more props as we get closer to the start of the game on Monday night. And you can take a look at their board for other sports. We got the MLB playoffs starting back up on Tuesday. I think it's the division series starting up Tuesday. We got NBA season right around the corner. A little bit over a week until NBA regular season starts. It's a lot of fun playing on Prizepicks. You mix and match sports. You can make multi-sport entries. Make sure to sign up for Prizepicks and use promo code NOAH. Get that deposit bonus when you sign up, and feel free to tell the picks I give out in this video, or if you want to make some more picks for yourself, you can do that as well. But let's talk through the plays I like for today. Do want to mention, do want to recap our plays from Sunday. Don't want to forget about that. So we gave out 3 picks for the full Sunday slate. Sunday, not the best day on our free picks. We gave out 3 picks and we went 1 and 2. We did cash on Saquon Barkley's over in fantasy score. Saquon Barkley had a pretty good game. I think he finished with 19 fantasy points, and we took that over 16. It was looking scary because Barkley actually got injured in that game on Sunday in that London game. But he got injured. He was able to come back into the game though. Had like a 40-yard catch. The first play he came back into the game, and then later on that drive he was able to score a touchdown. Ultimately, that put him over his fantasy score. The 2 plays, though, that we missed were both from Atlanta. And, looking back at it, do I regret betting on Atlanta, in that spot against Tampa Bay? I mean, it's possible. I might have made a mistake betting on Atlanta there, but we took Marcus Mariota's over passing yards. I was expecting Atlanta to be trailing, and I was expecting Mariota to have really good passing volume. And that kind of actually worked out. Like, I think at halftime, Atlanta was down 13-0 or maybe 21-0. They were down by like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and they just kept running the ball. It was so annoying. I mean, watching them run the ball every play when they were down 3 touchdowns. Mariota, he threw the ball 25 times in a game where they were trailing pretty much the entire game, and he had 147 passing yards when we needed 194. So he obviously came up short. And then we paired that with Drake London's over fantasy score. I expected Drake London to be the primary target of Mariota. I expect him to see massive volume. I mean, he got 7 targets. He led the team in targets, but he really wasn't able to do anything with those targets. Just had 4 catches for 35 yards on 7 targets. Finished with 7.5 fantasy points when we needed 11 from him. So both Drake and Mariota came up short, which is obviously annoying, man. I felt good about those plays, but betting on Atlanta in that spot might have been a mistake on my part. We'll live with it, man. We'll move on to the next slate, and hopefully we can cash out on both these 2 picks for Monday. We did cash both of our plays for the last Monday night game last week for Week 4, so let's try and do it again for this one. But the 2 plays I like for today, they're both going to be some fantasy score props. Two fantasy score props that do stand out to me that I think are a few points too low. First one we're going to talk about is Davante Adams, and I like Davante Adams to have more than 17 fantasy points tonight. Now, you look at Davante Adams, his game log so far this season. In the 4 games he has played with the Raiders, he's gone over 17 fantasy points in 2 out of their 4 games. He had 30 fantasy points in Week 1, just 9 fantasy points in Week 2, came up just short in Week 3 with 14 fantasy points, and then last week he went over, had 19.5 fantasy points against Denver. But what really makes me like this prop is, for one, we know Davante Adams is getting massive volume. He has seen a ton of targets so far this season, 47 targets through their first 4 games. So he's averaging almost 12 targets per game. He's so involved in this offense that the volume is going to be what makes this prop so appealing. I mean, Davante Adams could legit see like 13, 14 targets here. Derek Carr has been throwing the ball a lot this season. The Raiders they're top 10 in the league in pass attempts per game. Derek Carr's been throwing the ball like 35, 40 times a game, and with the Raiders being 7-point dogs on the road here in Kansas City, I could see the Raiders, getting behind in this game and, forced to throw, and we could definitely see a lot of pass attempts for Derek Carr. And when Derek Carr has dropped back, when he's been throwing the ball, he's been looking for Davante Adams. Davante Adams has been his number one target this season. I was expecting Davante Adams to take a little bit of a hit with Derek Carr at quarterback this year. I didn't expect his numbers to be as good with Carr as they were with Aaron Rodgers. And they haven't been the game log hasn't been as good, but the volume has still been there, and that's what's really key. I mean, this season, like I said, Davante Adams, averaging almost 12 targets per game, and he's got in terms of target share, Davante Adams has a 35% target share, which is basically second highest in the league, third highest in the league, only behind Cooper Kupp and Drake London. So he's just getting massive volume, and it's a pretty good game environment. It should be a high-scoring game here with a 51.5 total. I think 17 fantasy points is a number that Davante Adams could definitely hit here. I mean, he could get 12 targets, 7 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown or something like that. He doesn't need a touchdown to go over this fantasy score. He could get 12 targets, 9 catches for 90 yards, and put up 18 fantasy points. But if he gets into the end zone, he's almost certainly scoring, or he's almost certainly going to finish with more than 17 fantasy points. He has scored a touchdown in 3 out of their 4 games this year. 2 of the games he did score a touchdown, he came up short of his fantasy score. But there was one game, that game against Arizona, he had 7 targets, just 2 catches for 12 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that was definitely a little bit of an outlier game. Week 3, he did get 10 targets, finished with 5 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. I don't think Prizepicks has a touchdown prop up for Davante Adams. I'd assume his odds to score a touchdown are probably too good that Prizepicks won't offer that. But if Prizepicks by some chance does add a Davante Adams, receiving touchdown prop, I wouldn't mind taking that one either. But I expect massive volume for Davante Adams in a game where I think the Raiders might be trailing here. We could definitely see 11, 12, 13 targets for Davante Adams here. So I like that one. Over 17 fantasy points is going to be our first play for today. And then to pair with that, we're going to take Travis Kelce to have more than 16 fantasy points. And this is another line that I think is a few points too low. And what makes me really like this prop is just the volume that Travis Kelce is going to see. He's the clear number one option for for Patrick Mahomes in this Chiefs offense. No Tyreek Hill, so it's been the Travis Kelce show so far this season. You look at their first 4 games this year. Week 1 against Arizona, 26.1 fantasy points for Travis Kelce. Week 2, a little bit of a down game against the Chargers, finished with just 10 fantasy points. But week 3 had 17 fantasy points, and last week against Tampa Bay had 24 fantasy points. He's gone over this line in 3 out of their 4 games so far this year. Now, Travis Kelce, he hasn't seen the massive target share that Davante Adams has. Kelce, he's not averaging 12 targets per game, but he's still averaging a very solid, 8.5 targets per game. And Kelce just finds ways to put up fantasy points. He just seems to always get into the end zone. He's already scored 3 touchdowns this season. And this is another one. I was debating taking Travis Kelce fantasy points or taking him to score a touchdown. There is a touchdown prop up available for Kelce right now. If you wanted to take that, you could. For what it's worth, Kelce has gone over his fantasy point line in all 4 games that he scored a touchdown. He scored a touchdown in 4 out of his last 5 games, and all those games were, he went over fantasy. I would think that if Kelce gets into the end zone on Monday night, he's probably going to finish with more than 16 fantasy points. If he doesn't get into the end zone, I could still see him finishing with more than 16 fantasy points because he's going to get 9, 10, 11 targets, and we could definitely see Kelce have 7, 8 catches for 90 yards and go over fantasy score. Prizepicks, again, their fantasy scoring, it is full PPR, so getting those receptions is always huge. And we know these guys are just getting so much volume that the chance for them to get 9, 10, 11 points just on receptions alone is always there for both Adams and Kelce. I think I like betting on the stars here in prime time. Usually the stars show up in prime time, and I feel like these 2 lines could definitely be a few points higher. I do actually look at projections myself, and the projections that I look at for Kelce and for Davante Adams. So they have Davante Adams projected for 21 fantasy points. The projections that I look at. And they have Travis Kelce projected for just short of 19 fantasy points. So there's definitely a gap there as well. It's always nice to, if I find 2 plays I like, 2 fantasy score props I like, I'll take a look at the projections and see what they have as well. And they have both Adams and Kelce higher than these 2 lines. So I'm going to roll with these 2 plays for Monday Night Football. These were the 2 that I felt the best about for this game. There's some other props that I was definitely debating on taking. This Hunter Renfrow 9 fantasy score I felt like was a little bit too low. He's gone over that in 4 of his last 5 games. But these are the ones I'm going to be playing for this Monday night game. If I do play any more picks for tonight, I will share those over on Patreon. If you guys do want to get more Prizepicks plays from me. I provide those on Patreon. Link down below in the description. You can check that out if you are interested. I do give out additional DFS content as well. So if you play DFS on DraftKings, if you play DFS on Yahoo, I cover DFS on those sites on Patreon. I give out more DFS content, my showdown breakdowns, my core plays. That's all provided over there. Plus, we have a Discord chat you can join as well. You can talk with me. You can talk with any other members in Discord. That's available for Patreon members too. So check all that out. Link down below in the description if you guys are interested. But again, best of luck on this Monday Night Football game, guys. I hope you guys all cash out on your prop bets. Hopefully you win some of your Prizepicks entries. Hopefully we can cash out on both these plays and hit this 2-pick. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. As always, hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, make sure to check out Prizepicks as well. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, be sure to use promo code Noah. Get that first deposit bonus when you first sign up using that code Noah. Check out the product for Prizepicks. See all the props they have available. You can check out their fantasy scoreboard. See the fantasy point projections they have. You can take a look at their regular player props. So passing yards for the quarterbacks, rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions. They offer those as well. They even offer defensive props. So interceptions, tackles, sacks. Like you can take some of those props as well. Prizepicks offers a ton in NFL. They offer a lot of other sports as well, and you can mix and match sports on Prizepicks. You can make multi-sport entries. It's a lot of fun. You guys definitely need to be playing over there. Make sure to use code Noah when you sign up and get that deposit bonus when you do sign up. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching these videos. I hope you guys did enjoy. Hope this video helped you guys, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. Best of luck tonight, guys. Peace.